Well, I'm Jason.
And I'm Jules.
And
we doing filmographies.
And tonight we're drinking 99s again.
Yeah, I got pineapple punch.
Oh my God, I've got berry punch.
I think mine has glass in it.
Oh.
According to this picture.
Oh. Mine too.
Oh, shit.
Good for me. Hey, it's not a normal filmography night.
No, it's an abnormal one.
It's time for a Jason pick.
God damn, you are a loud monkey.
Yeah, I put it right in my mouth today.
Ugh. God. Ooh. Oh. Ugh. Oh,
It's so good.
God, it's like Kyle Bossman with its delayed input.
Is that a political thing?
It's a video game thing.
Okay. It's a Jason pick.
God.
We've decided to do 2 picks at the end of every run. I pick one, he picks one.
Yep, he decided.
I decided that. As you will hear Jules complain quite a bit on this podcast about how I keep changing the rules. I did it again.
Yep.
It's supposed to be more fun for us.
This time it is actually more favorable.
Because for my pick, the most dangerous game.
Mm-hmm.
Forget surviving the game with Ice-T and Rucker Hauer.
Game's over.
You don't need that shit.
I kept thinking this was called the deadliest game.
It might be called that.
It's not, but the deadliest catch would always show up when I searched.
Oh.
I'm like, well, where is this goddamn movie? With CT
Chris Tamburello.
finger bang.
Tom Berenger.
Barely, but yeah.
Casper Van Dien.
Yeah.
Bruce Dern. And some guy that kind of looks like Family Guy. What's that guy?
Well, and Judd Nelson.
Oh yeah, Judd Nelson.
Jesus Christ.
Who's the guy from Family?
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane.
You motherfucker! Get out of here! I'll kill you!
Didn't that guy in the sweater look like him a little?
No. He did remind me of someone, though, but I couldn't put my finger on who it was.
The guy, the Family Guy.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, well then that guy that also looks like Seth MacFarlane.
That's probably who I'm thinking of.
Julian.
Yes, Jason.
He's been scouring the internet for trivia facts about this movie. Julian, lay it on me. What have you discovered about the most dangerous game?
James Chick. He played one of the 2 German soldiers.
Okay.
He was also the stunt and safety coordinator.
Okay.
He was also the B camera operator. And he was also the editor.
What stunts are there? There's
Some explosions, squibs, stuff like that.
Are
Shrapnel.
there squibs?
Probably not.
Usually it's like they cut to the part where they got injured and now there's blood there. You
That's
don't actually
true. Yeah,
see
Judd
them get
Nelson
injured.
doesn't get squib action.
No.
Man, he was bad in here. He was doing some weird stuff.
What else you got?
That's it.
That's it. When did this movie come out?
2022. I'd have to assume it went right to Redbox.
I don't even think it went to Redbox. Julian, did you watch the Best of CT that I sent you?
Oh, no. I didn't.
I sent you a video. It's the Best of CT.
Oh, from the TV show?
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
CT, Chris Tamburello, originally brought to us all on the Real World Paris back in 2002.
Is he Parisian?
No, not at all. They
Oh.
sent Americans to Paris.
They're like, we don't got enough idiots over here. Bring
Right.
over those Americans.
He was in school to be a business manager and hopped on a plane and went to Paris, where he didn't get along great with people because he's kind of a lunkhead. Would
He's
you
a New
say
York
that?
kind of guy.
Yeah. He doesn't. Don't talk shit to him; he'll kill you. So he's on the Real World Paris. And I thought that he beat up his roommate Adam, who was the son of one of the Commodores. But it turns out he just shoved him a few times and was scary.
Work! You! Work, you dog. I have nothing. You ain't got Adam. You ain't got. All you do is talk. All you do is talk. That's all you got, man.
In season 14, The Gauntlet, CT and Davis get into it. I don't know when The Gauntlet was.
2007.
Who's Davis?
Another guy from The Challenge.
Davis Mallory, Real World Denver.
So on the very first night in the house, when they were drinking, they started to have a fun, quote-unquote, wrestling match between CT and Kenny. And I guess it took a downhill turn quite fast. And CT almost choked Kenny out. Kenny gave CT a bloody nose. And then they keep drinking. And a drunken CT asked Davis if he could take a punch to the face. When Davis said yes, CT immediately punched him in the eye.
Oh, wow.
Gave him a black eye and got sent home from the show.
Wow.
Now, after this season,
He's a bad boy.
CT's brother is murdered
In real life?
in real life.
Gangland?
Got into it with some drug dealers, some low-level drug dealers.
They threatened his girlfriend and assaulted. they tried to intimidate Vinny's girlfriend's mother and assaulted her. So when he showed up, they had their muscle waiting for him. Yeah, it says dozens of witnesses said that when Vinny pulled up to a softball park, a group of 10 to 12 men rushed towards him. He gave his girlfriend a taser to defend herself, and he grabbed a splitting maul from the tool area of his truck. He then charged the men. The group scattered. One of the men, Kyle Bolaski, fell near Vinny's feet, and Vinny started smashing his truck with the maul. While he was smashing the truck, Kyle ran to the other side and pulled out a hunting rifle and shot Vinny in the leg. Then he started to retreat, and Kyle shot him again in the back. As he lay dying, the group of men, now suddenly brave, rushed Vinny and kicked and beat him with the butt of the rifle. He was still alive and able to speak when the police arrived, but died soon after.
Pretty terrible. So this is percolating in CT's head when they bring him back for another season.
Yeah.
He also, previous to this, fell in love with Diem, who's also on the challenge and was probably in a real world or something like that. They had a whirlwind romance. He's the big beast. She's the little cutie. And, they find a common ground and love each other hard.
Yeah.
But then she dumps him.
Good.
Before the season we're about to talk about. Now...
What real world was this?
Well, now we're on
Guantanamo?
season 24 of the challenge. We're talking about
okay.
challenge episodes after the first real world, and then we did this. Season 24, Rivals 2. They pair up Adam and CT. Adam from his Paris season, who he hates. Mm-hmm. And here's what the clip says. Probably the most intense fight on the challenge that needed producer intervention was between CT and Adam. CT, known for his intensity and always ready for a fight, was set to beat Adam down.
I'll touch you all I want. Don't touch me. Hello. Don't touch me. Hey, don't spill on my bed. Don't touch me, fuck you, motherfucker. Hey, Adam. Whoa!
From chasing Adam around the house to getting a few punches in, it took multiple producers, cast members, and other staff to calm down CT. Like many fights that got physical, this one resulted in both of them getting disqualified. And Adam's a little guy, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And CT's a beast.
What do they do on this challenge program, by the way?
Challenges.
Like physical activities?
Yeah, amazing challenges. And then the loser ends up going into the final battle of the night against another person that's voted in. And one of them goes home. It's fantastic.
Interesting.
Any more CT stuff?
Oh, there's Diem.
Yeah.
Diem Brown.
She died.
The hell kind of name is Diem?
She defeated cancer, but then it came back. And it flared up hard while she was on the challenge. Uh-huh. And her and CT flew out on a helicopter.
She's touching his dick.
She's in horrible pain. And then she died.
What a weirdo. I don't like this guy.
Oh, man, we love him.
I like him in the movie,
but now CT's like a dad.
Oh, Jesus.
He's still real tough. He's much smarter than you would think he is,
He had a kid with Diem?
No, he married somebody else, and now they just got divorced.
Hollywood.
Now he's a quiet, reserved, very good challenger on the challenge.
So that's the story of CT.
That's the story of CT. Boy,
you think he's got CTE?
Like from brain injuries?
Mm-hmm.
No, fuck you. You're a piece of shit.
So we got this game movie show. What is it called? The Most Dangerous Game.
Because human is most dangerous game. Mm-hmm. Everybody know, even German barons.
He says it in there. Baron von Wolf.
Most dangerous game.
So when the movie opens...
Was that a perfect impression of him?
Yeah, I need you to hit me with the synopses.
The Most Dangerous Game. Marcus Rainsford, Judd Nelson, who maybe has a drug problem, a world-renowned hunter and author, charts a boat to sail to an island in order to hunt Kodiak bears. Joined by his son Sanger Rainsford, Chris C.T. Tamburello, and old friends Rex Allen, Randy Chirac, and Whitney Tyler, Bruce Dern, Marcus is soon up Schitt's Creek after their boat mysteriously explodes, stranding them on the island. It soon becomes apparent that they are not alone when they stumble upon the island owner, Baron von Wolf. Van Wolf?
Van, I don't know.
Casper Van Dien, and his mute and sometimes deaf companion Ivan, Kevin Porter. After Wolf reveals that he in fact hunts humans brought into the island, and offers Marcus, Sanger, and Rex the chance to join him, only to be rejected, Wolf has Rex beaten to death and shoots Marcus, killing him right in front of Sanger. Now Sanger must play Wolf's game and survive being hunted alongside brother-sister duo Quinlan, Edward Finlay, and marry Alyssa Dowling if he wants to get off the island and survive the most dangerous game.
Because this is based on a book, right?
Yeah.
What the hell kind of name is Sanger?
30s?
It's got to be from the book, right?
I guess so, because I was like, when they started calling him Sanger, I was like, what?
I couldn't understand what they were calling him. So before we jump, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but the wolf was inviting them to join him on the hunt. Right?
Yeah, I think he wanted to share it with
He
them.
wasn't like, oh, you're my hunt now.
I don't know. I can't imagine that he would like let them leave after they helped hunt people.
Maybe.
I mean, I guess who's got jurisdiction over that fucking
If nothing
island?
else, you can get the jump on him when he's doing this hunt. So yeah, okay. So the movie begins, right? And I'm already a little confused because it feels contemporary.
Well, except for the World War II helmet.
The
when they
war
did the
shit, right? I'm
flashback.
like, what is this? World War II/Vietnam? What are we talking about here?
Was he incepted? Is this some sort of... No, I don't know.
Because I mean, there's nothing that makes it stand out as feeling like contemporary other than just the casual nature of the conversation between Bruce Dern, Seth MacFarlane, and Judd Nelson.
Because it should just be like, hey, man, how'd you do with that coal stock? Oh, I did very good. I went down to Woolworths.
Or they should be talking about something that sets the time. Well, we survived the Nazis, sort of a thing. Because they're playing chess and he's just ribbing on them. Fucking Bruce Dern. Like he's basically the same guy from Hateful Eight.
I don't know that, but I know he's a and that's all I need to know.
He's chairbound and they're playing chess. So yeah, they're on a boat and it's unclear, but I wasn't clear that it was actually a boat at first.
No,
It just feels like a den.
yes. And is Bruce Dern is their friend? It's not like his grandpa?
I guess. Does he have like a big scab on his face?
No, that's like that old people
Old
discoloration
people varicose
stuff.
vein in his face? I don't know. It's gross.
Yeah.
I wish he was.
He's super old.
Yeah, he's 85.
It's
Maybe?
pretty wild that he was in Nebraska, like, 8 years ago? And then, like, 6 years later, he does this thing? Mm-hmm. It's like, people still like you. You can be in real stuff.
Because the Hateful Eight was like 2018.
2015. You piece of shit.
But yeah, he's just in a chair in that whole movie. And he's in a chair briefly in this movie.
And I was like, do you think that it's because he wanted to travel to Croatia or wherever they filmed this?
I don't know. Where would they have? Did they film this in Croatia?
I don't know. I feel like it was filmed overseas.
Well, yeah, but
Hungary.
his scene was probably not. I mean, we don't even see him die. Right? So Sanger's wet in his bed over war dreams. And he seems like a real lunkhead, right? Like something's just not right with this guy.
I mean, he just looks like he has PTSD. No, okay, wait. Right away, the direction in this movie is pretty bad.
The dialogue is terrible.
Hey, Sanger, you find God in that war?
No, sir. God left us to die there. I'm going back to bed.
The dialogue's bad. The way the shots are done, there's like no close-ups that would like connect you to these characters more. They're all like medium shots or far away. The audio mix is bad. It's kind of hard to hear what people are saying. Although 2/3 of the way through, I was like, hey, they fixed it. The audio's fine now.
It becomes better in general.
Like they learned as they went.
I don't know. Like maybe they were like, we got Bruce Dern for 5 minutes. Let's just whip this together. And yeah, because it almost feels like they're ad-libbing when they're ribbing each other.
But it's so bad.
It's terrible.
Unbelievable.
Did you lose or win?
I lost.
Do you play the game?
I do not play the game.
You do not play the game.
Can't you tell? That's
Well,
why I
can
lost.
tell. I mean, I like the
always
way you
lose.
move the pieces around, but I mean, you're actually playing a game.
And you would think you would benefit from some close-ups, to make you feel like you're part of it, because it's real boring to watch them do this from medium shots, right?
Yeah, and it's also unnecessary really to even have Bruce Dern in here. It could have just been anybody, or that role isn't there at all. We just have Judd and whatever his name is playing chess. So Sanger comes out and he goes, "Hey, you want some whiskey? I got one on deck just in case."
First, he wakes up from his bad dream, right?
Yeah.
And we get to see some real bad acting on CT's part.
I really wish they would. It's bad acting when a guy wakes up from a dream and sits up into frame and it's like, when you have a bad dream, you just wake up. Maybe you're startled slightly, but you don't shoot up and then sit there and sweat.
This whole movie, it seems like it would have benefited from a director who like cared about movies or actors and could help them in their performances.
It also could have benefit from, okay, you have a cast full of nobodies, fine. But
Well,
I mean,
there's a handful of has-beens.
that's what I
before we get to
mean.
the nobodies.
When you get to the has-been, when you include the has-beens, it just feels like a waste of money because you just want the names because that's all that's on the cover. Judd Nelson, Bruce Dern, Casper Van Dien, and CT.
It's a good cover too.
It's
Looks
a
like
fine
it's gonna
cover.
Be a good action movie.
It kind of does, yeah. And it's, all in all, it's a fine movie.
And remember when he says it's a fine movie, he's like it's fine. He's not like it's a fine film.
No, it's like, based on your messaging, I was expecting it to just be absolute garbage. And although Casper Van Dien is Diem or Dien?
Dean, you're thinking of DM.
Is chewing the scenery like you wouldn't believe. At least something's going on there,
Yeah,
right?
he is. Maybe we should get to it when we get to it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I jumped the gun.
No, that's all right.
All right.
So they're on the thing, they're drinking their stuff, and they're just shooting the breeze. The captain comes in like,
We've slowed to a crawl. In 30 minutes, it'll be the shallows of the island to the left and nothing but reef to the right. The island's beaches will be no more than 100 meters from our port side, so if you believe in a god, gentlemen, start praying to him.
and Judd Nelson, who is very emaciated,
Yeah,
he could barely fill out his shirt, and he's always craning his neck.
he's at the point now where he's got like those weird old man ears where they kind of protrude out and look bigger than your head.
Yeah, he's sunken in.
Yeah, his cheeks are sunken in like he's got a drug problem.
Mhm, his neck is sinewy and like very thin.
But he is old. There could be that.
Yeah. What is he, 60?
Maybe. Yeah, so he's not that old. I think he's... When I was looking up Judd Nelson briefly, it kind of seems like he's not very nice and he has a drinking problem now.
Because I went right to New Jack City.
Why don't you keep your toy mafia butt out of this? Mafia. I'm gonna wax your high yellow narrow ass.
Right. I'm like, Chuddy boy. See, he's kind of full in these pictures. He's 64. Like that picture, you like, that's Judd.
Yeah.
Right. But this is like, yeah, he must have been on, I don't know what. And he's always, now, Sanger, don't let the war define you. The war atrocities, it's like, dude, shut up.
And I mean, he still looks like Judd Nelson, but barely.
Barely. So they're like, the captain's like, hey, man, we could still turn around and, go the other way. And he goes, we don't have the 3 days. We got to kill this Kodiak bear.
I was livid during this segment. The staff are telling you we're going to crash and all die. You're in the wilderness. There's nobody to help you. This is post-World War II, like 1 or 2 years later. So the early 40s. What are you doing?
Well, why don't they have the 3 days to go the right way?
Because Bruce Dern's about to die.
I mean, they are going to an island that's apparently uninhabited. So they're trespassing, I imagine. And not once throughout the movie then do we even see a Kodiak bear.
No, that's true. I thought there would be a bear.
I
at some
figure,
point.
yeah.
I thought the bear might save the day.
Or
Jurassic
present
World
like
style.
a weird ancillary challenge.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to get away with not being killed, but then also there's a bear. And yeah, maybe it gets Casper.
Yeah, maybe we should have watched The Edge.
We should have. With Bart the bear.
Yeah.
So yeah, the captain's like, I don't want to do this, but I mean, I have no choice really. And they're like, yeah, you low life son of a bitch. And then all of a sudden, like,
You fucking sea creature.
we see CT and
Get back to Bikini Bottom.
there's like a weird fake explosion effect on the side of the screen.
Yeah, I missed this. I thought I was watching the show.
I thought it was a flashback.
Yeah,
again.
suddenly he was on the beach, and I was like, oh, crazy. They didn't even show it happen. She's like, no, there was an explosion.
Yeah, he wakes up on the beach and I'm like, okay, is this a dream?
Right.
What are we doing here, right?
Nope.
And he's wandering. He's got spitting sand out of his mouth.
So he's apparently exploded out into the water, washed up ashore, not dead. Just a little bit of, like, he took a handful of sand and smeared it on his face. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all of the muck upon him.
Well, and moments later, he says that he found 2 of the other crew members dead.
Yeah.
We don't get to see that.
No.
There's like, I don't know, a circular device in the sand and a piece of wood, I guess, to suggest that the boat didn't survive. But yeah, then he's just walking around
Then he
and immediately finds his dad and Seth MacFarlane.
Yep.
And Seth MacFarlane, he's got like a thin smear of blood on his head right away.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It's like a suggestion that
Yeah.
that he's been bleeding for days now. And Judd Nelson's shirt is wet. And Sanger, oh good Lord, thanks the Lord.
The The boat exploded, but we're all fine.
The boiler must have exploded, and he goes, well, 2 guys over there are dead. And he's like, okay, well, that leaves the captain and 2 or 3 other crew members unaccounted for. And they hear a gunshot.
We never see anybody from the boat ever again, do we?
No, absolutely
What happened to those other people?
I mean, what happened to the boat? I mean, we know what happened to it. We'll get there, but is it just completely obliterated?
Yeah, no, it was a big enough boat to have a whole room in there that didn't seem like it was part of a boat.
You'd imagine if there was some sort of an explosion, which there was. They went over a mine, a sea mine, that they would all sort of generally wash up in the same area because the current sort of ushers them to shore.
Along with all of the stuff on the boat?
Yeah. Which, is that what he finds later? Is that from the boat, the gun?
Oh, yeah.
Or is that like a care package that the wolf just leaves around?
No, I think it's from the boat.
To make the game more interesting, yeah.
Oh, boy.
So they hear a gunshot, and he goes, oh, it sounds like a Mauser. It is a Mauser.
And they know how far away it is.
500 meters. No, 1,000.
We need to get over there.
Sanger's also apparently able to shoot from 1,000 meters away.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really come into play at all. They talk about it, though. So they run towards the gunshot, and Judd Nelson somehow miraculously sees blood on a leaf. Something was shot, The game is on. And they come up upon a bonfire in like a makeshift watchtower or something. And then like the makings of a house kind of tucked into a hillside. Yeah. And this is when Ivan approaches them. What's this? Who's this guy? And Judd Nelson's like,
we mean you no harm. We are unarmed. Our ship sank last night. We are marooned on your island.
And then all of a sudden Casper Van Dien shows up, and he is what turns out to be the most German guy ever.
I must assume you are the survivors of the boat I heard have a mishap in the middle of the night.
Yes, we are.
Please excuse Ivan there. He is a mute and also deaf quite a bit of the time.
I was like, you know what? The dialogue's bad. The acting's not terrible. Mm-hmm. And then when Casper Van Dien showed up, I was like, is he kind of good? I feel like he's going a little bit too far, and I blame that on the director for not reeling him in. He's committed and pretty good. Now, it gets a bit more cartoonish as we go.
It does. But again, at this point, I haven't yet to realize what time period this is.
Yeah.
I'm seeing these weird war things, and I'm like, man, all they could afford was like a ancient army helmet, because all we see in CT, he's just crawling around muddy water trenches, and sparks are going off around him.
One trench. They dug one trench for him to do, and they flash back to it a few times.
Like a projectile comes flying in, and it's like, that's not a grenade. What the hell?
It's a Roman candle,
I guess. And I'm thinking to myself, as we continue to see that, I'm like, is he behind enemy lines? Is he separated? Like, why is he just singularly running around in trenches?
Another weird thing about this movie is this is not a passion project. This is not a guy that rounded up money to finally show the world what he can do.
Mm-hmm. Which is kind of the feeling I was getting a little bit. Because I'm like, why would you make a movie based on this book that there aren't a lot of movies based directly on it called it? Like, there's the
Surviving the Game
because they killed his dog. Yeah. But it seems like a well-known
property. It used to be, I think.
Maybe it's just in the public domain. So they're like, bingo.
Knowing that this is clearly not a passion project, it's also quite interesting that every now and then it looks pretty good. Every now and then there will be like a sweeping shot of the forest or a pan across something, and you're like, oh, most of this looks like shit, but this guy's not completely incompetent. He's just trying to make a movie to sell.
I will say this, based on the getup that CT eventually ends up wearing through the duration of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
He needs to play Carl Fairburn if they ever make a Sniper Elite movie.
I don't know.
I know you don't.
It's a video game.
But your kids will love it.
Because he's got that dumpy butt.
Well, because that's the Carl Fairburn. He's a sniper.
Were you looking at CT's fat ass in that outfit?
No, but he wears that military sweater with the shoulder things, and he's got a fucking rifle. Which they make a real concerted effort to mention that the gunshot they hear is a Mauser. And we see Casper Van Dien with the Mauser throughout the rest of the picture, but it's a single shot rifle. You load a bullet, ching. I don't think there's an interior magazine, and there's certainly not an exterior magazine that's visible. Yet he rapidly fires 3 shots at CT when old girl's foot gets snagged.
Busted. Jules busted ya.
What's going on here?
Great question.
Jacko.
Yeah, you tell him.
So fucking Casper was like, hey, come on in. I'll treat you guys to some port wine. They go, oh, word. He's like, I got a boat. They're just getting people, when they come back. No big deal.
We'll get you out of here. No problem.
And I think Judd Nelson notices that he has his books.
Oh.
Right? And he goes, oh, I'm Wayne's Wright or whatever. And he goes, oh, I know who you are.
I know. I've read every single one of your books.
You also take a hunter. And the other guy goes, I hunt too. He goes, oh, yeah, cool.
Fuck you. I want to talk to Judd.
And what's up with your brain dead child over here? He goes, oh, that's CT. And he goes, oh, yeah, he's a war guy. Don't worry about him. And
he's got PTSD.
So they're eating. They got chickens, game birds, each, and port wine. Ivan's pouring the port wine, and he mentions that he is mute
and sometimes deaf. Why? You that also stuck in your brain.
It did, because I guess, and it comes up later a little bit.
But why? What does it mean?
It just means like he sometimes just, I don't know, doesn't want to listen.
He only hears me.
He doesn't want to listen.
He only hears me, Casper Van Dien.
Because I wish I would have written down the line when he says it earlier. Like, I cut out your tongue, but your look is suggesting something to me. He says something like that. You'll put it in here.
Yet your hesitation speaks volumes, as does your concentration on me. Shall I tear out your eyes as well?
He's telling him, yeah, I hunt, game and everything. And he goes, well, I've got the thing here that's the most dangerous game. I've created the game.
Is it snakes?
What is it? Is it snakes?
It's snakes?
It's snakes though, right? He goes, no, it's not snakes. Believe it or not.
Oh, man, you got some of them big birds?
Mm-hmm. You tied two snakes together? Is that what it is? Oh. No, it's no snakes. No bird either. And they go, well, I'm interested in finding out more about this because I came here to hunt. The one guy goes, I want to hunt a jaguar. He goes, jaguars are for pussies and bitches. Well, I just always wanted to hunt a jaguar.
There's just stupid fucking cats.
Your asshole stinks too. Get out of here. You fucking idiot. How's your family, guy? And Sanger is just like, I don't find pleasure in murder. I did it in the war, though.
It's pushed in so many eyeballs.
He's always like doing this with his arms.
Yeah, he does that thing where he's leaning forward in his chair. And once again, if you had gotten close up on him while he's kind of like leaning forward in a rocking position, there could maybe be some power there. I don't find him to be a horrible actor. He's presented wrong.
They don't have any insert shots. We need to see people thinking or looking while other people are talking. Not just he's talking. Wide shot. They're all talking. It's like there's no effort to make him look like he's aware of anything more than what's being presented to him.
How does this guy get money? Like, this seems like it would be his first film.
CT?
Somehow, no, the guy who made this movie.
Eric Stan or whatever his name is?
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's just showing up for some cash. I don't blame him
absolutely.
for anything. He did the best he could.
Honestly, once it's his movie to carry, he does a perfectly fine job.
I think if you just like cut his dialogue and got a better director in there, I think CT would be a pretty great B-movie action star.
Yeah, the lady doesn't help either, though.
No.
We'll she's trying,
her, but boy.
Hey. So he goes, all right, well, what's this game you got cooking?
And let's see. You said it wasn't snakes. It's not two snakes tied together, and there's no birds.
And obviously nobody's going to put three snakes together. So I'm not even going to mention it.
Right. It's three snakes. I can't believe you did not guess.
Oh my God, he's got not three snakes.
Just kidding. It is man.
What?
I hunt people.
And Judd Nelson right away is like, that's murder.
Or good sport.
Yes, I look at it the other way.
Yes.
There's no law on this island that I apparently own.
This is my place. If you don't want to be haunted, you don't come here.
And this is where he divulges that he was basically a Nazi. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this is World War II. Now it makes sense. And he starts showing them his wall of skulls.
Yeah. I take their heads.
They got bullet holes in them and shit.
Fucking laser mission shit.
He goes, yeah, I go get people and they bring it here and then we hunt them. We give them 3 days, supplies. I give them a good knife.
Yep.
And then I kill them. And then if they live, I let them go.
Nobody ever lives. How many, would you get like a 3-hour head start or something?
3 hours, yeah. And Judd's like, nah, I'm not about that. So Ivan just starts jackhammering Seth MacFarlane's brains in.
The last thing Judd Nelson's character ever said was...
Shoots him in the chest. Oh, he's just pouring blood. Sanger, oh my God, Dad, you're leaking cherry juice.
His ears lose color because all the blood rushing out of them.
Yep. And that's all she wrote. Sanger, stay alive, whatever. So the wolf's like, all right, now I'm going to hunt you, though. And there's these two jabronis out here. They're brothers and sisters.
I need you to put on a sexy little outfit. It helps me get in the mindset.
I mean, I swear to God, the guy, when I saw him, the brother, I was like, I know it can absolutely not be Andrew Garfield.
No, he looked a little bit like Andrew
But he looked
Garfield.
a little bit like Andrew Garfield. Except for when you actually see him. Then you're like, oh, he doesn't look like him really that much at all. So they go, all right, the game is afoot. Run away. And I'm thinking to myself, I thought he said he gave him supplies.
I think, he gave the
brother
and sister.
has a bag, yes.
Why didn't CT get it?
I thought they all got a knife and...
But CT clearly doesn't have anything. Jenny and I were talking about this too. And then he runs into them at a waterfall.
Yeah, they're at a waterfall, a lake.
And he says the following to them. Sorry we didn't get to talk during all that chaos. They were like on their knees and he told CT to beat it.
Yeah.
No chaos.
No, and I guess they had been held captive for a number of days, which is odd.
Did they work for him or something?
I don't know, because they're like, normally, who are you, CT? Because normally he does this, or he treats people this way. So I'm thinking, well, so they're privy to what he's done prior?
Why didn't they hire any actors for this movie for the people that aren't famous anymore but were at one point? He hired them, but then he was like, well, we're not hiring any other people with acting ability.
It all went to Berenger.
I can't... when it is CT and the brother and sister talking at that lake, immediately the movie drops so many spots. Like
it does.
It's the non-actors. It seems like 3 non-actors trying to carry 10 minutes worth of scene.
What can you tell me about the Baron?
He's a very evil man. He leaves with people like us, and he always comes back alone.
And usually with a bloody canvas sack.
Because we don't have any reason to understand why CT is really nonplussed about the situation. He goes, yeah, so hey, what's up? Who y'all? And they're just like freaking out because reality.
Yeah.
And the brother's got the bag, and I guess the sister has the knife. So he goes, all right, look, Yodo, we got to get out of here. And, we'll follow the water. It'll hide our tracks. I'm from Brooklyn. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Yeah.
And they'll go, oh, okay, word. So they start walking, and they get to a place, and he goes, all right, we're going to sleep in these bushes. And he looks at her, and he goes, I'm going to be in your bush later. And they go, what do you mean sleep in these bushes? We got to keep going. He's like, no, we got to survive for 3 days. We got to rest.
Can we talk about the lady a little bit?
Sure. You going to say she's ugly? Typical Jason fashion.
Okay, here's the thing. She's not ugly.
Nope.
She's like 100% totally regular middle-aged mom lady.
Yeah. She's the woman who gets carjacked in a movie.
Right.
It's not her movie.
They took my babies.
Exactly.
And that's all
like
you
Reacher.
see. But then she's basically kind of the romantic interest for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? You didn't even want to like pick out like a model or something? You got somebody's fucking aunt who smokes too much, has a gambling problem, is playing this lady? It's like if they took the secretary from Ferris Bueller and were like, CT, you gotta get us out of here.
She's a good-looking, fine-looking lady.
Is this like a producer's like sister-in-law? Like this, it seems like she's related to somebody.
Maybe she's the sister of the Seth MacFarlane guy.
Yeah,
who was a producer of sorts.
But I was befuddled by her, and once
it just
again,
doesn't fit.
Yeah, it's odd.
You get a Tara Reid,
right? I mean, that's what you would do.
Older but still like you see it.
Where you're gonna be like, oh yeah, CT's gonna fuck this lady.
He's gonna bang her in half. Yeah,
but instead you're like, he's not gonna fuck her, is he?
I was just expecting her to die.
But I also was like, I think he might fuck her.
They might.
I don't understand.
They hold hands.
But they would. That's, yeah.
It's really stupid. But so they're running around. They sleep in the bush. And then, of course, Von Wolf is like right there. They wake up. What's that? And he goes, hello, everybody. Where are you at?
He's not a great hunter, though, because he was able to get there, but then he can't find them. If they had not moved, I think he would have kept going.
Yeah, because Andrew Garfield's like, we got to run. And CT's like, no, man, chill. And his sister's like, dude, seriously, chill. He gets up. He starts running. And then the Ivan grabs him.
I don't know. I know eventually.
Because he's shot, I think, during or after the fight. But he gets shot, and it's through the lung. And CT's fighting Ivan. Ivan's got like a big lawnmower blade,
But it's clearly
big blade here.
plastic or something.
Yeah,
it looks
cheap.
like plastic.
It's 3D printed and they painted it metallic.
It's from Spirit Halloween. $42.
It's not even that big either. It's like he should have a huge blade if he's carrying on a big blade, like a huge airplane propeller or something. Yeah. So CT's holding his own with him pretty well. And this is the first time, there's 2 times in this movie when the woman could have just stabbed this guy.
Yeah.
And she doesn't. She instead takes the knife, slides on the ground and cuts his leg. Arrgh, he says. And CT clocks him. And then they run away. And Von Wolf.
Von Wolf is shooting at them.
And he goes, this guy on the ground, you're dying and you're not worth the bullet. So he just puts his foot on his throat and kills him. But then he shoots a bullet into the sky. And CT hears that and he goes, see, your brother didn't suffer. He put him out of his misery.
But he suffered pretty hardcore leading up to
it. And I'm like, why would he fire that bullet? If you didn't want to waste the bullet on killing him, you're just going to waste it in general?
Well, maybe he would have used a bullet to kill him, but you still have to do your celebration bullet. So it would have been the wasted bullet. This way,
then he would have had the celebration bullet. I get it now. So they're walking about, and CT goes, oh, you know what? I'm going to set a Malaysian trap or something. I'm looking for the right kind of tree, he says. I'm like, what's this going to be?
A Malaysian trap.
So then Wolf comes walking up. Oh, because the Ivan's busted up. So he goes, go back to the camp and fix yourself or they'll smell you.
Because he shit himself?
Because he's bleeding. Even though they're not hunting him. So it's like his blood smell is going to precede his arrival.
There's no animals on this island.
There's no animal sounds. There's no fluttering birds. It's very bizarre. Yet they have game hen, so I don't know. But they have to go out for supplies, so maybe it's just a dead island. So the Ivan guy's gone now for a little bit. So the wolf's walking around and he sees the lady standing in a clearing, presenting herself.
Obviously bait.
Right. She's not running. She's not scared. She's just standing there like, I'm crazed.
I'm so horny.
And he's like, I'm not going to shoot you. I'm going to point my gun at you and slowly approach you. And right before he hits the tripwire, I thought, oh, he's going to know and not trip the tripwire.
Yeah.
But he trips the tripwire and somehow it causes a small sapling tree to fall on him.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, maybe the tripwire, what it's going to do is like ensnare him and throw him, or the tree's going to whip him or something. It just falls on him.
Too bad it wasn't like a predator spike, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So he falls and he's got the tree on him now. And CT runs up like, oh, girl, you did good. And then boom, he's shot in the arm.
That's interesting.
Because Casper Van Dien, he isn't like dead or anything. He can still use his shooting arm.
Yeah, why didn't they kill him?
I don't know. As soon as that tree fell on him, CT should have presented himself and just started bashing his brains instead of going over to her like, good job.
Step 1, fingers through the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even if he gets stopped, he got no more eyeballs.
Because as soon as he fell, he's going to be like, grab the gun.
Yeah.
And then kill him. But he doesn't.
And then lay underneath him and wait for Ivan to show up and pop out from beneath him.
Or put on his clothes.
Surprise. And his skin.
I'm the wolf now.
You can wear his skin.
That too.
It'd be pretty
cool. Got a knife.
Why do you look weird, Casper Van? Oh, man, I've been tricked again.
What are you talking? I got your tongue. Oh, shit. So he's shot now because he did nothing to capitalize on the fact that his trap worked. And Casper Van Dien gets the tree off him and he goes, I know, I've been to Belong or Belange or something, he says. It's a Belong trap. I know it. So he goes, I'm going to go home and I'm going to fix my arm and then I'll be back. It's like,
he's having fun. He's letting you know the game's not over.
Set the trap and then while it's sprung, then you make your way back to his house and light it on fire. Poop in his bed, some shit. So they're running around and all of a sudden they run into
Tom Berenger.
Who's got the whitest teeth in the world, considering he's been stranded on an island with no toothbrush or dental care.
Maybe he has a toothbrush. Maybe it's in some kid he found. It was around about...
Wait a second. It's in some kid he found?
Kit.
Okay. All right.
It was around this point, about 5 minutes before we get to Berenger. I turned to Jenny and I said, I still haven't seen Tom Berenger.
I completely forgot he was in here.
Tom Berenger's about to show up.
Yeah. And they just throw like a green army jacket on him and he's got a big gut.
He looks so old.
And he's waving around a fucking knife.
He looked old in Major League, and that was like 40 years ago.
I wish this would have been Gary Busey, right? Just something different. Because Tom Berenger is like barely there.
You don't like him? Or what,
in here
what do you
now?
Who would have been good? You think? I guess Gary Busey would have been good. You say?
I mean, he would have led a semblance of credence to like the insanity that this man would probably be experiencing.
Yeah.
For one, surviving the game.
Yeah.
Two, being trapped on this island for an indeterminate amount of time. So he goes,
Hey, go back the other way. We're not going back there. We're dead if we do. Who are you? I am someone who tricked him. That's who I am. And nobody will compromise my hiding spot here.
Stay away from me. I got a hiding spot. Waving a knife. And they go, oh, no, I'm bleeding.
Wait, because CT's been shot, right?
Yeah. And she goes,
I've been thinking about the large man.
The one he calls Ivan.
Yes, Ivan. Back home, men use dogs to chase the game birds and the mountain cats from the woods. Do you suppose the Baron uses the mute like a dog?
CT goes, yeah, I do. I can't believe I didn't recognize that. Good job, girl. And so he goes, hey, man, look, I'm hurt. I need your help, and we won't survive. And he goes, all right, come on.
Come to my cabin.
And they walk up a little hill, and there's a cabin. And I'm thinking, damn, he built this? How the fuck is he cutting down wood and fashioning a cabin without anybody hearing or noticing?
Yeah.
No, it's pre-existent.
Yeah.
And it's a nice cabin.
Yeah.
There's glass in the window and shit. I'm like, there's no way he made this. Oh, yeah, okay, he didn't. He goes, you see? I could see everything from here.
And he's never been this far into the island.
It's like, why wouldn't he? How big? That's the question. How big is this island?
I think the island's relatively big.
Because he's not lighting fires in that stove.
In the cabin?
Yeah. What is he eating?
Pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
I guess he said there's MREs and shit from the boats that crash. Supplies, cans. He's got canned goods. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like I wouldn't live in a pre-made house that exists.
No, this upsets me greatly when they're all like, okay, let's go to sleep. And they just go to sleep in that cabin.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you, insane? You don't even want to like maybe go up on the roof and sleep? Or like go under it somehow? You're gonna just be in the building where he's gonna be like, oh, a cabin. I bet they are in there.
He goes, oh, I'm a doctor, by the way. Tom Berenger style.
I'm gonna get this bullet out of you.
I'm gonna zip you up. He didn't have a bullet in him. He was grazed. But he just sew him up. And he goes, oh, yeah, I got some grenades over here. I just haven't figured out a time to use them. It's like, how about in the middle of the night when he's probably sleeping?
When he doesn't have any people to hunt?
He doesn't have traps set up because he doesn't expect it. He thought you killed yourself, but he doesn't do that. So he goes, yeah, there's a boat also, but you need several people, 2 people, I think, several, he says. I'm not sure what he says, but eventually they do say 2 specifically to operate it. It's in the bay over there, And so it must be on the good side of the island because otherwise there'd be mines everywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, why don't we just go to the good side of the island to begin with? It's an island. It seems like you could just go the other way to get there.
Well, and Tom Berenger goes, yeah, all these idiots, they always just run to the beach. It's like, well, yeah.
They don't know that people are after them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, all right, I'm going to go to sleep now, though, because what we're going to do is we're going to get the boat, and then you're going to use these grenades. Whatever. Good night. He's sleeping with the knife. And then they're just sitting there fucking jibber-jabbering about her fucking dad. And Tom Berenger's like, listen, say your prayers and go to fucking sleep. And then they continue to talk, and CT's like, your dad's alive. Say it. She goes, my dad's alive. Oh, I don't believe you. You better say it like you mean it. She goes, he's alive. He goes, goddamn right. And then they lean their heads back and they go to sleep. And then they wake up and Tom Berenger's at the window. He doesn't wake them up. He just goes to the window and he's standing there looking out.
Now, did you see the thing where Tom Berenger's like looking out the window and he says something and then his mouth goes like this?
I didn't.
It just like wiggle opens.
So just based on what you're telling me, I wonder if he had other dialogue that they cut or was inaudible.
No, it was not. The mouth was not moving in that type of way.
He was having denture issues.
That could be.
They were slipping and
and
they were like, he's like, they're not going to keep this. And then they kept it.
That looks like what he did. I'm going to find this clip and we'll see what people say.
Because they needed, that extra 1.5, 2 seconds of him. They were like, if we cut now after his dialogue, it's going to be weird.
Jenny and I just looked at each other and started laughing hysterically when his mouth did that little wiggle.
So, he goes, Baron's outside and Ivan. I don't know. I get the impression that they're only like 10 feet away. But
Casper Van Dien and Ivan?
But it turns out they're probably like 100 feet away.
Yeah. And they used the wrong shot of them because it made them appear like basically they're standing side by side.
And also, keeping in mind that Ivan's walking around with the lawnmower blade, when they're looking outside and they're looking through like holes in the slats of the wall that are roughly half an inch big, the gap. I'm like, oh, his blade's coming through there.
Oh, that'd been good. Like,
Shing!
Yeah.
Through a face, or it doesn't do that.
No.
He just comes through the back door. Hey, everybody.
Why, I like how they're not looking at the cabin, too, when they show Casper Van Dien and him walking up.
Yeah.
They're like staring dead ahead like, where could they be out there? Oh, not in this building you didn't look inside.
So he goes, go in there and flush him out. And the guy doesn't do anything. He goes, you seem like you're disobeying me. And he goes, all right, I'll do it. So then him and fucking CT are fist fighting again. And CT's really holding his own. This guy isn't really much of a challenge.
Yeah.
And again, we know that she previously had a knife.
Yeah.
Might still. We absolutely know that Tom Berenger has a knife.
Yeah.
And Ivan's back is to Tom Berenger for a majority of this fight.
Yeah.
Run up and stab him in the throat.
I think he would have.
What are you doing?
If this movie made any sense, that character, I think, definitely would have stabbed
We don't
him
see
to death.
either of those two characters during this whole fight. It's just they're fighting.
They're like watching, like
And
they're
then
off
he
camera watching.
Knocks CT down briefly. And so then now he's fighting Tom because Tom goes, hey, wait a second. Come here a minute. The guy goes, all right. And they start fighting.
To get CT a chance to run away.
Run away, CT.
Sacrificing himself.
You and the girl. Because again, the Baron is just standing feet away from the front of the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
So they just run out the back door. And he goes, oh, run, me little Lipsheen. Yeah, I think he shoots a couple times. And then Tom Berenger gets the blade through his gut. And he goes, hey, check this out, though. And he's got the grenades. And it blows up.
Probably just need one.
Yeah.
Why waste grenades?
Hey, CT, take one of these with you.
Yeah.
Run away.
I left the pin in. It's not a JK.
Yeah. And it blows up. And then the shack blows up reasonably, believably.
Believably?
Yeah, the door flies off. The top shakes. I mean, it's not going to completely blow up if it's a well-made cabin. I liked it. But as they're running away, she runs smack dab into a bear trap. Bonk! And
that's what it sounds like.
Ka-ching! And CT's like, oh, dear Lord. She's not, it didn't break her shoes. It's just on her foot.
She's totally okay.
Yeah, they just need to get it off of her foot.
Leave that spot.
Yeah. And then CT gets shot in the ear. And that's when Casper Van Dien then rapidly fires 2 more shots. But we don't see him. It's a bolt action rifle, you know. And CT's hiding behind a tree and she goes, you gotta leave me. And he goes, all right, later. And she goes, and he leaves her. Casper Van Dien comes up and he goes,
when I knew you were holed up in that shack, I set several around the area, not knowing precisely which way you would flee.
Yeah, you know, I knew you were in there, even though it kind of seemed like we just stumbled upon it moments ago. And even at that point, weren't certain whether or not you were in there. And I laid traps all around. So I'm thinking, oh, that's going to maybe be an issue. It's not.
No.
And immediately it's the end. And he's just got her tied to a tree. And he goes, yeah, we'll see if CT comes for you. And he's just talking mad shit. She's blowing him up. And all of a sudden, he's about to stab her. And the knife shot out of his hand.
Yeah.
But there's no real, sound effects?
No. CT found a washed up rifle that also came with the cleaning kit.
And he cleans it.
Out.
Because it's a dirty rifle.
Yeah.
It comes with all of its shit, but the rifle's dirty.
But, you know.
And boxes of bullets.
Even if we got this rifle working, let's waste some ammo shooting guns out of people's hands and spooking them with bullets.
Yeah, he's shooting. Pachoom, pachoom, and
what about that first shot? You just kind of do a kill shot at his heart or something? Shoot the center mass? Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, because clearly you're lining up the shot enough that you can shoot the knife feet away from plunging into her.
So shoot him in the heart.
Yeah, he's probably been watching him that whole time.
Jules and I would have shot him in the heart.
Oh, yeah, big time. I would have pulled a JFK on him and peeled his wig back, you know? And so Casper's hiding. Oh, he's not that good of a shot. He can't be. And he shoots wildly into the night. I must have got him. Why would you think that?
Yeah.
Do you even have a slight idea approximately where he might be?
I am channeling God through my gun.
And then he goes, he's supposed to be reloading. I'm going to flee. And he hightails it out of there, gets to his house, because there's absolutely no way CT got there before him, because he's on a hill this way, and the wolf's running that way. I mean, he might be able to catch up to him, but he gets there and he's just there, sitting leisurely in a chair.
Yeah, he didn't get there 3 seconds before you.
So I'm like, is there another person there? What's going on? You know? And he's got his skulls, and he goes,
looks like you have won the game. Shall we have some port and Discuss how we'll get you home?
Oh, shit. You got the drop on me. And he goes, I do. And he puts the gun on the piano.
A few days ago, I watched my father die in this chair by your hand. Now, I'm gonna watch you die by mine.
And he throws a knife on the floor and he goes, let's rumble. Casper picks up the knife, lunges at him, and CT just kills him.
Yep.
Immediately.
You don't see any knife go into him. It's like you see the knife, and they cut to him coming at CT and like show him make the "I've been stabbed" face.
He somehow got him in the ribs, into the heart or something.
It's like they didn't know where to put the blood.
Yeah, it's like they were like, we really can't have a big fight. Casper's 56, and CT's just gonna brain him because he's
he's a fucking animal.
He's a child moron, and he can't be stopped.
Remember, I told you CT's actually he's pretty smart.
Yeah. Is he?
I've been watching him for a decade.
He's just got anger management issues.
Yeah, he's got serious anger problems. But I told you, he's better now. And he's the guy that figures out the puzzles fast. He stops and thinks. A lot of these people are just scattering around like rats.
God, could you imagine clinging to a reality show as your livelihood?
No, I don't think it is, though. I think he...
Well, obviously not. He's making blockbuster films.
I think he's got a regular job, too.
Guy's fucking raking in the dough.
But then all that shit's like extra money. Like you go film for a month.
He's raking in the dough.
He has won a good handful of the challenges and made it to a lot of the finals of the seasons he's been in.
He's been in multiple.
Dude.
He's not clinging.
I don't, you know what? They make good money. If like every 2 years you won $200,000, wouldn't you do that in addition to your job?
Well, in addition to my job, yeah. I mean, after taxes, you're walking away with what, $83,000?
I don't know if it's quite that bad, but it's not good. Yeah.
But so Casper Van Dien's dead now, and the lady's alive. Surprisingly, I mean, I honestly thought she's gonna die numerous times throughout this movie, but she doesn't. And they get to the beach, and he puts the gun down. And I go, oh.
And he says, "Girl, is you ovulating?"
Yep. She goes, "I am."
And he's like, "All right."
Scrambled.
And then it says, "The most dangerous game 2." Coming in 9 months.
CT will be back in the most dangerous game 2. They
don't fuck.
No, yeah, they do.
Someday.
She probably pegs him on the boat.
I need to be powerless sometimes. I'm very strong, and it's my turn to be powerless.
I'm the little spoon, right? Because I guess they can drive a boat.
Yeah, I guess.
And sail and chart.
I don't know, man.
What if they crashed and drowned?
It'd be pretty fucked up.
The weakest game.
See, you thought this was like kind of okay for an action movie?
I kind of got into it a little bit. I mean, like when he kills those German guys. We didn't mention that in a flashback.
Oh yeah, the flashbacks where he's Sisu. He just like rises up behind people and breaks their necks and then grabs a gun and blasts people.
Because when they're in the wilderness, the budget doesn't reveal itself. It's when they're pretending they're in a war, and that's when you're like, oh, this feels kind of cheap. But in the thick of it, I mean, when they're in the wilderness,
it always feels cheap. What are you talking about?
It doesn't, though. Casper Van Dien, boy, he reminds me of Sam Lake from Remedy, the original face capture for the original Max Payne. He looks like him in this, so I like that. I don't know, man. I mean, Casper Van Dien was doing some heavy lifting and chewing some scenery, but it kind of worked. I mean, it has to, right? He's an ex-Nazi on a weird remote island with a Russian mute giant, and he's hunting people.
This movie is both bizarrely worse than I thought it would be and better than it seemed
should
like
have
it would
been.
be. Yeah. Because I was astounded a lot during this movie. I was just like, wow, this is a poorly made movie.
I think they really blew their wad on unnecessary washed up actors.
I don't know how much you had to pay any of those people, though.
More than you would for no names. Judd Nelson, you probably had to pay him $50,000.
No.
Bruce Dern.
I was wondering about this. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. What do you give him? Like
$20,000?
Like fucking $6,000. Judd Nelson.
$5,000?
I mean, I'm thinking like a pretty small amount of money.
I guess I don't know. I mean, why even? I guess they did it because of the fucking cover. If you're at Redbox,
I think they knew to put CT in this too. Like that is
CT needed to be in
100%
here.
of the people watching this.
Yeah.
Did you look at any reviews?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, on like IMDb, it's all CT fans. Where they're like, "Oh my God, CT, why'd you do this?"
Absolutely. Oh, that's what they're saying? Why'd you do this?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
The worst.
I thought they would have been like, this is CT to the max.
No, man, same thing for me. I was excited, and then I was like, "Oh, this is bad."
Fuck, I don't know, man. I mean, it could have been worse. It was short enough. It didn't have anything in there where, I mean, except for why they wouldn't have stabbed that guy numerous times when they had the opportunity. It really did. I think the biggest problem is it really didn't feel like there was much of a threat. CT's like, he gets wounded several times, but just because he's being an idiot.
It's cool when they killed his dad and his dad's friend right away.
I did not see that coming.
No, it's like, whoa.
Holy shit. Because again, I would have just been like, oh yeah, I'll play your game, and then shot him in the back.
I knew you were going to do that. You have no bullets.
Mm-hmm. Ah, shit. Yes, you thought I was Bill Clay, but I wasn't.
I'm going to give you one more chance.
Mm-hmm.
This time I'm going to give you a bullet.
No gun, though. You got to stab him with it.
Or you throw it really fast.
Or Bruce Dern bores them to death with his stories.
This movie, I didn't really like it, but I was happy for the experience. And then I was like pretty excited you were going to have to sit through it, but I also felt pretty bad you were going to have to sit through it. So it's nice that you like it. I think this movie's
I hear a 3 coming out of you.
Yes, a 3,
Yeah. Shit, I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Well, the movie that your pick for this week, which I guess maybe you're the second one of the week the way we recorded these, that movie says to me, well, yeah, this is what your problem was with the other one, because, look, I'm a real movie, and we know pacing and trajectory and what to put where, and they don't do any of that for The Most Dangerous Game.
No. I think it's unfortunately one of those movies that suffers from just the type of movie it is. She has to be helpless, so she can't. Normally, what you would do is you'd put like a Rob Schneider in that role.
Yeah.
Right? Because then at least they could do, you eating bugs, or, whatever he would say. And that would kind of help alleviate some of the dullness. But, so do we give CT a score or no?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know the guy. At first, I'm thinking, man, this is very not good, what he's doing here. But once I think they get away from him having to actually emote sorrow and like baggage, I don't know how best to say that, but once it's just him now trying to think forward and react and survive, I thought he was actually kind of good. I could see him, I don't know what you would put him in, but he could do anything that like Jai Courtney's doing, I think. To some extent. So for this movie, man, I'm going to give him a solid 5.
I was going to say 5 too. I feel like as long as an appropriate person got a hold of him and knew what his limitations were, I think you could have a great role for him where he's just got a handful of lines through the movie. Not a lot in a row. A nice short sentence here and there.
Yeah. You throw him in a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's just like a fucking backlot guy or something.
Yeah.
Gold.
Maybe some distracted guy talking a little bit of shit.
Or like a 90s Scorsese's movie where he's just there busting somebody's balls or getting his balls busted and he can't take it. Fantastic. So that's The Most Dangerous Game.
I was going to say surviving the game.
Yeah.
You can see this on Tubi right now, I think.
Yeah, it's free on a number of things. I rented it because I didn't want to have commercials interrupt the magnitude of this movie.
Check it out. Why don't you watch this movie? Does anybody want to talk The Challenge with us?
Yeah, talk it.
Boy. Jules and I are going to watch every season of The Challenge.
That sounds like a challenge.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do it. Go to YouTube, Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, We Doing Filmographies.
Yep.
Email us at WeDoingFilmographies@gmail.com.
Yep.
Julian, call me. What's my number?
763-634-1897.
Oh, man. Send me a text because I don't answer.
Yeah. Or leave a voicemail.
And tell me to head over to the NowI'mPlayingNetwork.net website and pick out another podcast to listen to. Oh, man. What's this? A new episode by the Directors Club?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Next week?
Incorrect. Saturday.
Tell him?
The Glimmer Man.
The Glimmer Man.
What?
And who is the Glimmer Man?
Apparently Steven Seagal.
It's not Keenen Ivory Wayans?
No.
It's not the bad guy.
No. It's Steven Seagal.
Don't see that glimmer. It's the last thing you see.
Yeah.
I've been Jason.
I've been Jules.
Good night.